Welcome to Divinity 648. My name is Christina. I'm a high vibrational energy intuitive. This is um this is overall collective energy, regardless of your zodiac placements, regardless of your level in energy shifts. This is an actual download of energy that we are experiencing. And being a high vibrational energy intuitive allows me to touch, feel, and experience all of the various energies as they're impacting the various individuals. So if I jump around or I'm a little all over the place, try to follow me, and I always try to circle back around again just to reiterate where we left off. So there's a lot of combination. There's a combination of Phoenix rising energy and Harley Quinn energy, right? It's like that vibration of being brought to your knees and standing up again, but not uh leaving any avenues undone, not leaving any doors open. And if you're leaving them open, you're clearing anything and everything that's on the other side of them before you allow them to stay open, if that makes sense. So I've got a lot of we're going to go to love first, okay? If you understand the Phoenix rising Harley Quinn energy, there's a lot of flows going, and the dominant one is that action, that forward movement, and it probably kicked high gear around the 7th of February, where it really pushed things forward. It really, it it almost feels like around the 7th is when it initially started to actually unfold for people, or set, like when you got dominoes falling over, it's that touch of the first domino. Okay, and then the rest just keeps going. So since the 7th, that's when we hit the first domino, to allow everything else to fall down. And it was like this, you know, the need to just loosen up a little bit, right? It was kind of like, I can't fight this energy, so let me just let it unfold kind of flow. And it brought a lot of people to their knees, even if not physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, right? Mentally. For me, those are two different things. I associate intellect with like energy, communication stuff, right? Energy level of breaking things down and working through it. And mentally, I think about the mind space. I think about, because I treat the mind like a spam folder in your email. It's all external influences that just need to be cleaned up a little bit. Delete, 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 save. Do what you want to do with it. But the dominant energy should always be down here in your intuition. And for me, that is how I connect intellectually. So for me, I'm going to say the two. So dominantly, intellectually, mentally, emotionally, there's this need to start the next cycle, and you're not going to get away from it. And a lot of people who understand the way that they're feeling and are in tune with the way that the divine is guiding them, like meaning you listen to your intuition, you don't really go with the flow, you trust yourself a lot more than the average individual. You're not the kind that's going to run out to Starbucks and grab the new coffee just because everybody's doing it and it's the new coffee, right? Almost like the opposite of a trend setter. Trend setter. And it's that stepping out of the dark night of the soul kind of flow. But this way of dark night of the soul, it wasn't stretched out, it wasn't prolonged. It felt, it happens, it's over, and now I'm stepping up again. Like now I'm coming up out of those ashes. And I keep seeing Phoenix. I literally, if you go on my Facebook, there's a woman who's stepping up out of ashes with, people giving her praise. And that's because, she came back up, right? That for me is Phoenix rising type energy. You could also, and I keep seeing the lotus example, the lotus flower comes up out of the worst conditions. I'm channeling, excuse me. It comes up out of the worst conditions, right? It comes up out of the dirtiest, muddiest, darkest waters, and it still raises to the top, and it still opens up, and all of its petals are exposed, and it is flawless as it floats there. Um, and then I'm seeing other examples too, but it's just like this is the energy. This is that collective energy. This is that we have done the work. We have been pulled through things that we didn't think we were going to get through because we trusted our faith. And stuff like that is what's unfolding collectively for everyone, regardless what side of the coin you're on. If somebody else is doing this in your immediate life, you are somehow, some way, not only just observing it, but actually feeling it, even if it didn't happen directly to you. And I'm also getting this. The best part about Phoenix rising energy is the energy of being free, right? I remember when I was in this part for the first time, I fought it. I fought it. I fought it. And then finally, I just let it go, right? Finally, I just allowed things to unfold for me and trust the divine, trust my ancestors, trust the information I was getting was real, and no longer hold on to any type of codependent or toxic energy. This is that energy again. And again, if you didn't go through the ascension process at least 10 years ago, you're going through it again. You're going through it now. And those of you who have already gone through it, it's kind of like we're going through this again, but it doesn't affect us as badly, right? And this is equivalent because we are in equinox energy, and that's what this is all about. It's a collective groups of energy that come together to really help everyone collectively pull through this. So that way, what's too toxic falls off, or and not just too toxic either, right? Because one of the things I got to experience again recently was you don't just lose the toxic people, you lose genuine loving people as well, and that's not because of any other reason than the fact that they're now a part of your soul tribe. They're a part of your soul cord. When they pass away, and it impacts you so significantly regardless of the type of person it is, it helps trigger you into a deeper connection of going within, right? Then, most of the time your loved ones will come to you, talk to you, have you feel them and express them, which triggers you to be like, am I crazy or am I not crazy? Let me look into this. And that's when people usually get on this ascension path. They go through the awakening process, and you never stop experiencing it. You never stop reawakening, right? Reminders, chapter review tests. And there's so many different layers and levels to this that you never stop awakening. Truthfully, the ascension process never stops because energy is always in motion, and energy has the ability to not hold space. It has the ability, like, okay, so when we have orbital, when I was learning about orbital systems, which I don't know what we would call it, but it's orbital systems. When I was learning about that, they were talking about sound waves, which is energy, and how when, like the color wheel, when it touches another energy, it transforms into a collective energy and it keeps going. And it also leaves like its thumbprint or its DNA behind with the other energy, right? And it keeps going, and then it bounces off one, which then gets absorbed by whatever it bounced off of, causing another reaction of more energy to go out. But again, it's now collective energy because of the old energy combining with the new energy, and then it stays in motion. Um, well, the part that I'm talking about is it stays in motion as it bounces off and comes back, but it also starts that Newman's pendulum thing where it swings this way as well. So now that's that one set of information, that one set of energy is now two separate balls of energy, but containing the exact same stuff, right? And then it shoots right back into the opposite direction, sending the same information in two different ways, but continuously collecting more information or more energy on its path. It's actually really incredibly amazing if you can visualize as I'm rambling about it. And the reason why I'm talking about this to you, right? Because I'm multidimensional. I like to play in dimensions. I like to learn and experience and expand my consciousness. I love cosmic consciousness and being aware and alert of things. And I think it's important that I explain this here because a lot of people are going to be getting cosmic consciousness, especially if this is round two of being really awakened and heightened in experiencing telepathic communication and spiritual divination. This is important because the gods, the goddesses, the family members, the ancestors, the ones who really want to help raise vibrations and protect the information or the sanctity of human life, and what all of that entails. They're anxious to give us information and knowledge, and it's nothing to be scared of. And this is no like UFO crazy, conspiracy shit either. This is genuine like spirituality. I trust my intuition and I can validate the things that come through, kind of flow. And I said what I said because the downloads that are coming through is going to be prompting a lot of truthfulness. It's going to be prompting a lot of freedom to speak your truth, right? And me being able to sit here and say what I don't really ever say, that came from an awakening. That came from that Phoenix rising energy, right? That Phoenix rising energy is that, you know what? I've experienced so much and seen so much and felt so much that I don't care about the codependencies of what other people's expectations are or their opinion of self would be. It's that freedom to say, you know what, I do see dead people. I do talk to dead people. I'm not limited to dead people, and I'm not afraid to communicate that. And when I wake up from spiritual downloads, which it's no different than syncing your email from the cloud to the device that you're viewing it on. You're syncing information. You're receiving remember what I just said, the orbital vibrations, how they bounce off and come back again. That's what we're getting. Okay. That's that knowledge, that information. That's what cosmic consciousness is all about. It's being in alignment with not just receiving, because everybody receives these vibrations. It's understanding how they're impacting your life, understanding why and where it's coming from versus just like, woke up and I just had a knowing, I just know shit. No, it's more than that. It's so much more than that. So that Phoenix rising energy is bringing people quickly through the process of rebirth, restructured. If you listen to morning messages, which I always put on podcasts before YouTube, you'll understand that it's that restored, restructured. That's the energy that is coming through. Okay, that's that spiritual collective download of information that we are all being impacted on because of the way that our planetary alignments are bouncing around and dealing with the vibrations of external planetary orbital systems that we can't even see, and some we can see. The ones that we are being impacted by right now is the ones that are coming from that planet that we found at the time of our collective ascension and new era. And it does have two suns, which is absolutely phenomenal. And that is going to be orbiting closer and closer and closer to us over time, of course. And it's prompting this Phoenix rising. It's all associated. It's all associated. It's all connected. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's that falling internally to your knees energy, reflecting on everything, healing from it, forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to experiencing it, because you or experiencing it, um, you might find forgiveness for the other individuals involved, but I don't see too many people like forgiving and releasing from consequences are not the same thing. Okay. You can forgive someone and still hold them accountable. Um, and that would be okay. And that's kind of what's going on. There's a lot of like, yeah, I forgive you, but I'm still holding you accountable. And I don't forgive you because you deserve it. I forgive you because I deserve it. Does that make sense? And that energy right there is that part where the freedom of truth, right? The freedom to explain, express, and reiterate the truth that comes through. It's that energy that is needed to go from that Phoenix rising energy into the Harley Quinn energy. I fucking love Harley Quinn's energy too. And I only use that terminology because they came up with that, what is that, Birds Prey or something movie. That's where I'm getting the Harley Quinn energy. It's that, on point, professional, can handle business, but goes through something or falls blind to love and just snaps instantly into something completely different, right? It's that, you know, the example that I kept getting 3 days ago when I was working through this. I never like to talk about energy before I can work through it because I need to understand what I'm talking about and I need to feel my way through it. So that Harley Quinn energy that is now going to be affecting everybody as you're transitioning through it, it's that it's like fearless. It's fearless. It's that I know who the fuck I am energy and I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said. It's that, oh, you don't want your dirt laid bare? Well, then don't fucking do the dirt kind of deal, right? It's that you do dirt, I do dirt. The difference between me and you is I fucking own my shit. I don't hide behind walls and say, nope, that wasn't me. I don't do certain things. It's own your shit. And I've been talking about that on morning messages. Own your shit. A lot of people don't even understand that they wouldn't even deal with the karmic energy, the consequences of their karmic energy as greatly as they have been if they owned their shit. You know, um, for a long period of time, I had learned how karmic energy played out. I had learned how karmic energy can be cleansed and cleared. I learned that outside of the karmic energy, we have these boxes. It literally looks like a square box. And when I said, "Ooh, what is that about?" The information that came back was the box around your karmic box, your Pandora's box. It really is square. It's square because of the way that the that nice soft blue, almost white color around the moon. That's what it looks like, and it goes all the way around your aura, but it's a square, and that's your future energy, right? That's that. If you really look at it, it almost looks like a giant eyeball, and it's supposed to be where that Eye of Horus stuff comes from, genuinely. But it looks like a giant eyeball because of the way it's set up and the way that the karmic energy comes through and the doors of opportunities can pass you by. Like, it was just amazing to experience and learn, which a lot of you are going to experience and learn as you're experiencing karmic energies surrounding that Phoenix rising, transferring into the Harley Quinn energy, and going through that rebirth, regenerated, restored kind of flow. So the main message that I'm going to put here is, yes, Phoenix rising. Yes, freedom of truth. That energy that is needed to speak your truth, to own your shit, is very dominant right now. And it's beautiful because a lot of truths are coming clear. So when people were doing some fuckery and doing whatever they needed to do, the truth is now coming out, meaning it's harder to lie. You'll be so caught up in your flow thinking that you're getting away with everything that you'll actually blurt out some truth, and it would be like, whoa, and people around you are going to notice what you used to say or how you used to conduct yourself and realize that there's some conflict in the things that you say. So it's so important to own your shit. It's so important to really just be there, right? Being in the now. That Harley Quinn energy that is really settling in quickly, wants people to take dominant steps towards, not just being that phoenix that rose, but to be that phoenix that speaks the truth and doesn't have any fear in expressing their observations and their understandings, regardless of who's around them, right? It's that I don't give a shit what you think about me. I don't care how you feel about, how I conduct myself. This is who I am. And I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to suppress anything to make somebody else feel good in their skin. And again, I think I started going through that energy about 10 years ago. And to see it come back again, but different, which makes sense when you think about the way energy bounces off the orbital systems. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's really, really, it's like phenomenal. I'm just all about karmic energy getting justice, right? And I'm not talking just physical justice, but energetic justice. And when people are going through this cosmic consciousness and this, phoenix rising into the Harley Quinn energy, it's kind of like, no, it is what it is. And when the tables were turned, you didn't care. It was what it was, right? Like, ha ha ha. Well, who's laughing now kind of flow. And the way that Harley Quinn tends to get a little crazy, right? A little like, like the Joker. It's always with a smile. It's like, I seen the chess move you made. Well, no problem. Checkmate. With a smile on your face, and without hostility, um, without tension, without hate, without animosity. I don't hate anyone. But make no mistake, I'm very passionate about my position in certain situations and dynamics. But I don't hate anyone, none that are living. And even the ones that are not living, you don't really continue to hate them because the toxicity parts of them tend to gradually fade as they go through that soul review and see things from all dynamics, which is important for growth and development, right? Which is why you should never shut off when you're being spiritually contacted by a loved one, because it gives you that opportunity to tap in and flow. It gives you that opportunity to have closure and healing and a better way of living and understanding why people do the things that they do and how they got to that place in their lives, right? But again, you want to keep it moving. You want to just keep it going. As far as the Harley Quinn energy, I really think it's important to understand that people might not be ready. I remember when I was in this energy for the first time, they weren't ready, not at all. And they couldn't wrap their minds around the things that I would say or the way that I would behave. I had been like, you don't understand, like, and they'll keep coming back too. Trust and believe. So for me, it was the part where I had family members. It's like you'll come to me for advice, you'll come to me for guidance, you'll come to me to help you with your energy and to channel. And then you'll go and talk mad shit. And then like 2-3 weeks later, and you'll be talking about that. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that. And they're like, oh, where'd you get that? What read are you going to? You have to lie and give another reader credit because you were so busy talking shit about the person who gave it to you. It's kind of like some clients. I have been known to be anywhere from 221 days to about 7 years out. And I've had clients, including family, run their mouth horribly and not be able to understand any of what was presented to them for the truth that it was. And now, as things are unfolding and falling into place, and this past energy from the retrograde really set things into motion for clarity, now they're like, oh shit. Oh yes. Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, there's documents on that. I completely forgot any of that happened. It's almost like you're getting caught up, right? It's almost like those karmics are being put in their corners, right? Um, they're not going to be able, they're not going to be able to, I don't want to say show face, but it just feels like now that everything's out and truth is being exposed in all areas of life, those people, those people are the ones that are getting pulled under with Jamoja's undertow, right? Those are the people that um, are being isolated from the people that they want to be around. Those are the people who are suicidal or depressed or really going through it and feel like they need outside help or are being forced to get outside help. Because now that they have to face that stuff, if they can't own their shit, they're going to be really emotionally disturbed until they do. And some people won't be able to face themselves for who they are inside. And that's not always the case, too, right? Because some people who can't own their shit and they can't face themselves, when they cross over, they end up like really coming forward and showing up for you because of the soul review and the way that it impacted them and the way that they got to see themselves. That's why they start to be that I can't wait to like when you go to a meeting, like I can't wait to work with, like usually I always get messages like I can't wait to work with my loved one. I can't wait to help them, unfold. I'm going to be here. I'm going to show for you. That's typically the energy that they come through with for the most part. And that's because they see their patterns, they see their behaviors and the way that they impacted certain individuals, and they feel that desire or that need to really show up and be supportive in ways that they didn't. And if that was who they were living, they'll continue to be that way on the other side much, much sooner, much faster. And again, I want to bring up Yamoja's energy because every now and then I will be on YouTube on my personal account because I love validation. And there's so much different types of energy out here. And for me, I feel them collectively. I don't get them the way that other people do because I am all 12 zodiac signs completely. And for me, it just blends in. Whereas for other individuals, you'll know the difference as you continue with your energy work in ascension. So I go on YouTube and there's this divine, I can't remember, but there's a commercial. And that commercial talks about this woman who claims to be the daughter of Yamoja and claims that the healing abilities that she has is is through Yamoja. And this commercial questions if it's genuinely the practices of Yamoya and being the daughter of Yamoya, or if it's stolen healing um, from the Bible. And then when you click on the link, it talks about Exodus. Um, and again, I didn't save the information. I wasn't really too concerned with it, but it is a trigger. And I asked, listen, I started asking questions like, whoa. And I've even clicked on the website and tried to see the website, and I see that it's kind of like a dummy website, like one that I could make my own on my own. And I was just really looking at it, and I was really disappointed by it because one, Yamoja is associated with multiple religious faiths. Okay, multiple. Multiple countries turn to her and understand the significance of her. And if you really do your research, she predates Christianity. She predates everything that Christianity bases their values and traditions on. And I'm not discrediting any religion or anything in a religion. I just want you to understand if you if you look at every religion, you'll understand that they all have core values, morals, and principles that usually you can find in the principles of Mayat, somehow, some way, okay? Somehow, some way. And then it's like, if you really do your research and you look at all of these different religions and you start realizing that collectively they all follow the principles of Mayat, which is in alignment with the principles of Yamoja and is ancient and predates everything, the Yoruba traditional religions. You have to remember, um, Christianity and Catholic religion, and I'm not attacking anybody or shitting on anybody, but when they first came into existence, they invaded. They invaded colonies. They invaded countries. They invaded um, towns and villages and murdered millions. And I mean, you see the large number in text? Yeah, triple, quadruple, and then times that by 100. Okay, they're not even honest with the number of people they've slayed for simply not wanting to convert or give up their values and follow that faith, which would have killed off the original values and traditional religious faiths of individuals. Okay, I think that's important. I think that before you start challenging religions and challenging if this is a stolen healing method known to be true because it's in the most popular religious faith, which is only as popular as it is because of the way they conducted themselves when they first initiated, right? You murdered millions. I mean, like an unnumbered amount of people who carried those values and knowledge of those faiths and forced people to convert into that faith. That's why it's so popular today. Okay? That does not make that information the only truth. Okay? Could it possibly be bigger than that, though? And I don't know why we're talking about this, but I'm channeling and I don't question. And I'm getting triggered because, again, cosmic consciousness, this is that information. Okay? This is that knowledge coming through to a lot of people speaking their truth. Harley Quinn energy. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you have to say. This is who I am. I know I'm the daughter of Jamoja. And let me tell you, I know my healing, my methods, the things that I've received, it came from them. I've never really thoroughly read the Bible. I've got 4 copies in this house. My ex-husband was Christian. I respect all religions, but I know my ability to grab somebody's lung cancer through a Zoom session, to ground the energy in a room that's nowhere near me, that didn't come from the Bible. It didn't come from Christianity. It didn't come from Catholicism either. It came from my awakening process, my experience working with gods and goddesses, deities and so on and so forth. And I didn't pursue them. They pursued me, thus chosen. I didn't take classes. I didn't hunt down the experience and the knowledge. It unfolded within me. Can you imagine waking up and seeing someone on your bed? Can you imagine being at work and stopping dead in your tracks because straight across from you is a being that doesn't belong there, doesn't fit in there? That's what it takes. So seeing that commercial on YouTube, it's offensive. It's offensive because I know who I am. I know the energy that I've worked with and experienced. Okay? I've been scared to shit numerous times. I do mediumship, but I'm not a medium. Right? I experience everything as I'm supposed to. I've done DNA activation without even knowing what it was. There's a lot of things I do and experience and don't even know what its words are because I don't follow religion like everybody else does. And I don't chase spirituality and psychic abilities like everybody else does. I let that happen naturally as my intuition allows it, right? And this is that Harley Quinn energy where it's coming back again, where we're all going to start speaking our truths again. And it's like, you know what? Seeing is believing, and you will not believe what the fuck I've seen. And you're not going to slap no straitjacket on me. No, because I can prove it. Okay. I can do things, right? So that Harley Quinn energy is giving people that thing, that energy, that vibe that they need to speak their truth, that energy that they need to stand fearless through everything that they're experiencing and going through. Um, and it's important not to shit on these people, because then you'll be like that other group, right? That group that, can't be around the individuals that are speaking their truth, that are glowing from that phoenix rising energy. It's like when I was in my ashes, you were sure to continue to add fuel and keep that fire burning to destroy me. And now I'm no longer in those ashes. And you, for your actions, have no choice but to respect me, right? Yeah. And they want that forgiveness from people. Those individuals want forgiveness for those who went through that Phoenix Rising and are now into that Harley Quinn. You'll know where you're at in this. We're all on different vibrations, so only you will know. But in general, that's how it's playing out. And they want to come back around. But they got pride and they got ego. And what this energy is doing is it's now making them go through that process of Phoenix Rising. And they're going to go through it quickly, because they were the ones squirting the fuel to keep it going and keep you in that state. You're not like them. So now that they're going through it, it's going to be quick for them. They're going to go through it quickly because there's nobody adding fuel to keep them in that state. Does that make sense? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's like we're now in Harley Quinn's energy, but Harley Quinn energy don't have time for the fuckery. We don't, high vibrationals and chosen ones, and I'm a Heyoka empath, and I am also INFJ personality type, kind of goes hand in hand. Again, we come up with all these different words for the same exact thing. Bottom line, you're a divine being, period. And nobody's going to be able to discredit that, because the vibrations and the energies going through are showing people who you are, whether you mean to or not, because of that freedom of truth, that Harley Quinn energy that's pushing that truth out, right? It's like I don't have to wear a suit and smile and pretend to be something that I'm not just to fit in with society. This is who I am. Right? Harley Quinn was that, I have a degree and I treat crazies and I'm in this jail and I'm doing all these things. But when she was able to be true to herself and gave into how she felt internally, she changed. She was her true authentic self. She spoke her truth. She didn't care what anybody thought. She was untouchable because she experienced that Phoenix rising energy already. So she released herself from codependencies and what does people think about me, and I can't do this because this person will say that and feel this way, or I'll lose friends if I express myself this way. She's like, fuck that. I'm honoring myself. I don't give a shit what anybody else has to say. So that's the vibes. That's the vibes collectively. And I love it. And I love it. And a lot of people are tapping into cosmic consciousness, especially if they're enjoying the Harley Quinn energy of like, I don't care. I'll tell you what I want to say and that's it. You know, um, you're releasing yourself from things that at one point you had to show strength, because that phase is over. Um, when it comes to walking away from individuals in love dynamics. You know, I always, especially when I started off in 2019 with Divinity 648, my thing was, do not walk away. Fight for it, right? Stand your ground for it. Those 90, those older couples who can say I was married for like 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, they can typically say that because they fought for it. you know they stuck through it. They saw that the grass isn't greener on the other side, and I do love this person, and no matter what I do, I always come back to this person. So why keep putting myself through the hardships of walking away from that person when I'm just going to come back here again anyway? So you nurture your situation, right? You tend to your garden and you keep things flourishing there. um and then there's those other individuals who don't, right? Those are the, you know, I don't want to call them gypsies because it kind of shits on my traditional values of my ancestry. But it's almost like the bandits, right? Like they hop from garden to garden to see what they can take, the scavengers or whatever. And those would be the equivalents of a karmic, where it's kind of like, ooh, your grass is greener. I'm gonna come invade your space, and I'm gonna do everything I can to stay here as long as I can, and I don't care who I hurt in the process, or do whatever it takes. Um, and then, and I'm bringing this up because the energy is exposing them. The energy is kind of like, you know what? You're you're overstepping here, and you need to excuse yourself from my personal space. Because gypsies, native native persons, they understand to move around, right? They understand, if they don't move around, how important it is to be tender to its environment, so that way they can stay. And when things are external in that environment and they're toxic, they'll destroy the ground. The grass will stop growing. Animals will slowly be, coming extinct, or there won't be enough, right? Resources run low faster, and it gets frustrating and it gets stressful and it causes inner conflict. So there's a lot of people taking action to remove that inner conflict. And there's a lot of people who really want to boss the fuck up and stay where they want to stay. Um, it's important, while you're in this Harley Quinn energy or transitioning into it, to not so much look at everything with compassion, but more so just take your time. Take your time. Take your time with it. Because this energy is really, really great for permanently cutting cords, permanently closing karmic cycles for generations. Like, I mean, like putting it to bed, right? Breaking those chains, those ancestral patterns. And you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Think about it as like when we're younger and our parents are warning us of all kinds of stuff, and we're just like, um, you don't understand, you're from an older generation, things have changed, and then you become older and you have children or younger generations around you, and you kind of lecture them because you've been there and done that, and you can see exactly how things are unfolding from ancestral patterns. And that person or that younger generation says to you, you don't understand, you're too old, you're from an older time, things have changed. You get hit with that, right? And you're like, oh shit, I was you one day and I said the same thing. That is called ancestral patterns. That is called karmic cycles. Break that shit. Break that shit. Don't keep saying it, right? Be supportive. And it's really hard. I get it. But you're going to keep going through things until those karmic cycles are closed off, until they've changed. For those who like to be deceitful, I keep hearing deceitfulness is being restructured. Speak your truth, own your shit. Speak your truth, own your shit. I've been saying this for so long. Jamoja, her waves. Um, I don't care what anybody says, right? This isn't about Exodus, secret healing methods in a book. This is about ancient traditional values and ways of existing and healing. It is common sense that you can go within and heal yourself. It's not that one belongs to the other. It's more like, okay, ready? Speak the truth. Harley Quinn energy. I don't give a fuck. I know that the word God is the root word for gods and goddesses. And I've experienced that using the word God brings in a lot of gods and goddesses. Okay? High vibrational energy intuitive. You understand and you respect all gods, all goddesses. So the values in that Bible don't belong to just one God. It belongs to all gods and all goddesses. Swear to God. So is it a matter, back to that commercial, just because it's a trigger? Does it matter if it's from the Bible or if it's actually lessons from Jamoja given to her children? Not really, because a Bible is just a collection of stories told to remember the root lesson of that dynamic, that energy, right? We get stories told so we remember the moral of the story. God is the root word of all gods and goddesses. We're in a new era. Don't just accumulate the information, but actually apply it in all ways. Connect the dots, right? Cosmic consciousness. Like level up already. Like understand that this is a new era. We don't vibrate in the toxic 3D anymore. It's completely gone. We are all in the fifth dimension. We are changing. um being on a higher vibration in a different dimension allows for you to naturally experience synchronized events that discredit anything that challenge that to be true within yourself. Seeing is believing. Strengthen your relationship with the divine or whatever you call your faith. For me, that's my intuition, right? When I talk like I am one with the universe and the universe is one within me because I know all things are connected. All things stem from one another. It's a domino effect. Um, there's a lot of appreciation energy coming through too. And that's being grateful for the lessons, right? Like if I started an Instagram account called Hidden Gem 84. Hidden Gems 84, I believe, or 88. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But basically, it's my life on shuffle. I took photos from old accounts that I've deleted because I went through the energy of I don't want social media anymore several times, and I shuffled them all up and I posted them. So it's all over the place, the photos, and I did that because one, I was going through that Phoenix rising energy, right? Self-discovery, finding self-love again, moving things around and all this otherness. And when I reposted them, I would do things like caption it, not as the caption from back then, but me now reflecting on that moment, you know? And I would say things like, thanks for the lessons. I'm so grateful, but I don't want them back again, right? Thanks for being a part of my life at this point. I'm sorry the way that things had to end, but I'm so grateful that it's over, right? And when you reflect on all of those types of moments, think about my morning messages when I talk about Jamoja. Think about the fact that everything's in threes, three waves, okay? You're either riding the wave, you're getting hit by the wave, or you're being pulled under with that undertow. Okay? Think about that. If you're riding the wave, you are 100% in alignment. Not 100% because we change and we slip, right? We're not perfect, but majority of the time you'll be riding the wave. You'll have ups and downs, but you're still riding that wave, right? And then there's the other energy is it's almost like you're almost riding the wave, but you're being weighed down, or you're still standing there holding your ground, going through everything, but you're weighed down because you haven't released everything. So those waves are hitting you, and they're not hitting you to destroy you and force you into the undertow. They're hitting you to help cleanse you. Every hit is a cleanse. Things happen for us, not to us. Every hit is an opportunity to release yourself from the things that are weighing you down so that way you can get on top and start riding that wave. I'm not saying you won't go up and down, there won't be bumps, there won't be turbulence. Is that the right word? But I am saying it's a hell of a lot better than being sucked under. It's a hell of a lot better than just standing there and constantly getting hit. And those 80 year long marriages, it comes from standing there and constantly getting hit until both people can sit there and face each other and be like, I'm done with this shit. Let's get up there. Let's get on the same page and just flow. And that's where those relationships are at, right? So when I started this business, I kept saying, stand your ground, do everything you need to do to fight for that relationship until you can't do it anymore. And that way, when you can't do it anymore, you have complete closure within yourself. You're not seeking closure from that other individual. You're healed. That's why they say when a woman walks away, you better fucking know she walked away a long time ago, right? For her to physically leave, she mentally and emotionally left a long time ago. And she healed, right? And that's because she kept fighting and she kept fighting and she kept fighting and she did everything she could. So when she does walk away, she can do that shit peacefully and she doesn't need to give an explanation or an excuse or seek clarity and closure and keep going, right? A lot of people are in that energy of, I gave it everything I had. I kept going and going and going and fighting and fighting and fighting. I'm tired of getting hit with waves. I'm ready to just flow, right? And then they'll be on that float, riding the wave, going up and down, up and down, up and down. And they're realizing I keep going up and down, up and down, up and down because the motherfucker who won't release their weights, thus the people being pulled under or constantly getting hit, they're riding on, they're holding on for dear life. So when you're going up and down, you're banging, you're getting hit while you're still floating. It's not to knock the float over and sink you. It's to shake off the shit that's trying to attach themselves to you. Thus, the people who shitted on you when you spoke your truth. So that way you wouldn't speak your truth and you wouldn't outshine the dynamic or the situation or whatever it was that was relevantly taking place. 3 ways. It's like a couple of listen, I don't do time. I'm a high vibrational person who floats with dimensions, right? So I don't really mess with time like everybody else. But a while ago, I posted something talking about the lion walked through the gates. And I was again with the threes. This lion walked through the gate. People are staring in admiration. Some are staring like a deer with headlights, and some are fucking running. Same energy. It's just impacting people differently. So everything that is going on right now, you're basically experiencing it for a good reason. Spiritual awakenings are happening. Restructuring dynamics is taking place. And if that entails losing a loved one, as tragic and hard as it might be, you got to understand it's happening for you. You didn't lose the loved one. You just don't have them physically, right? I don't process death the way that I used to, right? When my last stage of really popping me open, my awakening, like, okay, you're not normal, but now we're really on a different level of things, was in 2006 after my grandmother died. Literally, right after I had my son, my grandmother died. And that was traumatic, right? That was that fuck dark night of the soul. Uh, The universe was the one squirting the fuel to keep me in those ashes. Okay. It was the universe doing it at that point. And what it did was it's like a diamond under pressure, man. That hidden gem. You come back up and you are this incredible, amazing new substance. And as time goes, you learn how to keep yourself polished so the toxicity and the bullshit just comes off of you as it hits you instead of absorbing it, right? Because a polished stone doesn't get dirty, it just rolls off. It's almost like using the Rain-X on your windshield. Things just bead off. 1 second. Sorry. Mom first, aunt first, even if whatever. So basically, you're going through a lot of different energies. A lot of doors of opportunities are going to be popping open for you. Um, those 80-year relationships come from fighting through that energy, not just abandoning ship. So if you are in a situation that is prompting you to walk away because you're feeling like it's unreciprocated, right? Or you're not feeling appreciated. When your person comes back around, hear them out. Use good discernment. The information will be different for you this time around because you'll remember and experience those patterns just like we're seeing and experiencing ancestral patterns. So it will stand out to you differently. And if you see the red flags, you see the red flags. Set an expiration date. I love expiration dates. Set an expiration date. If this person isn't the way that I need them to be by this day, or I don't have commitment by that day, or I don't have my promotion by this time around, accept that you deserve better. Even if it means riding solo or doing, a completely career change or something. Just accept that you deserve better. Okay? If you are in inner conflict about something, there's a reason for it. Something's out of balance. This energy that we are in is going to highlight everything that's out of balance. If you don't find balance, you're going to have your ass handed to you. So stay balanced. Fruits, water, veggies, nuts is dominant. Light meat like chicken is better than heaviness. Fruits, water, veggies, nuts is dominant if you can tolerate it. And it helps with your energy and being healthier because as we are ascending, the need to have a lighter body is going to be required. So people are naturally going to notice that they're straying away from certain foods and gravitating more towards certain other foods. Another amazing thing I got maybe like 4 or 5 days ago was farming's coming back, right? We used to be huge with farmers. All of our food was dominant by farmers. And then we did the 18-wheelers and all that other shit, and GMO stuff. Farming's coming back. I'm excited. I saw that. I was really excited when I got that in the energy. It's prompting or promoting farming, agriculture, stuff like that is going to be really dominant because it's all about nurturing the earth. It's all about loving your environment, taking care of it, right? Back to the gypsy ways and native ways. It's about loving where you are and knowing that when you plant food, you plant things that are beneficial, it's not just beneficial for us when we consume it. You better know that it's beneficial for the ground when it's growing it, right? It's an exchange of energy. And it helps the ground to be more structured, more healthy. It goes really deep that I'm not trying to be in right now because we're already 58 minutes into this. So I'm done rambling. I'm done revisiting the same information and trying to break it out in different various ways. Phoenix rising energy goes into Harley Quinn energy, which promotes speaking truth and being free in your truth to say exactly how you feel, and not having any blockages in your throat chakras, pretty much. And just embracing it. And again, with the Jamoja stuff and that commercial on YouTube for the Exodus teachings, seriously, don't discredit something just because the other option is more popular. You don't know where that came from. Okay? Don't go around saying this woman who claims to be the daughter of Yamuja is stealing ancient traditions that belong to Christianity and is in the book of Exodus, especially when the book of Exodus came way after her existence. These gods, goddesses, they predate all of our knowledge and all of our traditions. And regardless of your faith, they collectively gave us that knowledge and those traditions. Okay? Another thing, right? Cosmic consciousness. I fucking love cosmic consciousness and tapping into Akashic records and stuff. Another thing, we have 4 human races. And of the 4 human races, there's an additional energy that created those 4. And the Bible says God made man in their image. We don't all look the same, okay? We're not all the same image. Not really, right? Then you look at the Book of Gates, ancient Egyptian teachings, white skins, yellow skins, red skins, black skins. And then that 5th energy, which created the other 4 energy, doesn't have any skin. Okay? Gods made man in their image, and never just physically, because the 5th God is not physical in any way, shape, size, and or form, which is the soul, which is why we have divine order, divine power, right? Which is why when we cross over and leave our body, we're still who we are. Because God made man in his image and never just physically. And there's never just one God, because there's literally 4 different images. Think about that. Just wrap your mind around that. We pass away, we can still communicate. We're still who we are, and we can prove this. So why can't we wrap our minds around the fact that there's more than one God? And more than one God created man in their image. And maybe the morals, values, and principles that divided us based off of our teachings and the way we teach them is genuinely one set of morals, values, and principles that just have different stories to help you remind yourself of them. Principles of Mayat. Do the research. I've been saying this shit for like at least 15 years. Well, no, I'm lying. Maybe 13. Do the research, though. I think it would be amazing. And again, this isn't my first Phoenix Rising energy, and I know there's people older than me who's probably saying this is their 3rd or their 4th or their 5th. Definitely at least their 5th. But just because you've been around longer and you've gone through them more often doesn't mean you're more knowledgeable or experienced in them, because of the way that your ancestral energy ties in and the way that we expand and unfold and do things. So that's it. That's all I'm giving you. That's all I have to give for today. I'm loving this freedom of truth. I'm loving this. Like, I don't care what you think of me. You know, nobody's an alien over here. Nobody's from outer space. Nobody's fucking possessed. Nobody's insane. It's called, I know things. I've experienced them. And I'm not going to hide my truth to make other people comfortable. No. So not happening. I am currently only taking clients by Zoom because the same way I got that other download on farming coming back strong, which I'm so excited for. And it wasn't even so much just in the ground. Um, I had some I had someone who's been trying to oppress me for many years send someone to my business and introduce me to some type of thing. And I was instantly intrigued and excited about it because I'm like, what? That's amazing. And then they showed me this double wide trailer, but it was for growing food all year round. Whereas if it's not beneficial, like in other words, farming is going to be available in areas where it wasn't available before. You don't have to worry about the ground not being healthy for it because there's other ways of doing it now without making a greenhouse and stuff, right? And being able to do it all year round. Farming is huge. It's huge. It's definitely kicking ass, and I'm really excited. I'm sorry. But just like I got that, I got a warning for COVID. I got a warning for COVID and the fact that people are not being safe and they're not testing and they're not caring if they're sick or not. They're still doing whatever it is that they want to do. And I get it. I get it. So, to book with me, we're going to meet first by Zoom. In-office sessions are for active or non-active existing clients. I don't care if you're booking just a quick $22 check-in with me. I need to experience you to use my discernment, okay? So divinity648.com for a list of services that are available to you. And you can schedule online as well, or you can call or text me. But all appointments are available by Zoom, and any in-office appointments have to be booked directly with me, which means you can't book in office on the website. You have to contact me to schedule an in-office appointment. You can email me, you can call me, you can text me, you can hit me up through the mobile app. The choice is yours.